If you're a European e-commerce brand, should you go for Amazon or for other platforms or both or neither? Here is the very clear explanation. I'm David. I'm helping brands on Amazon, and in the last 7 years, I talked to more than 2,000 e-commerce brands about marketplaces and Amazon particularly. And here is a very easy breakdown. What I told those brands is, if you like memes, it's like that. Amazon is much bigger than any other platforms. If you're from US, it's probably not a big deal because there's Amazon and maybe Walmart, but there's nothing else to choose. But in Europe, it's much more fragmented. Every single country has some local platforms you can choose. And the question is usually from the brands is, should we focus on Amazon as the biggest one, or should we go for the smaller platforms? Maybe try those and see what's going on, and then go for another. If you ask the biggest sellers, like biggest Amazon sellers on earth, the biggest aggregators about their revenue breakdown, and this is I have just as a story I know, they will tell you it's usually like 50% is Amazon and 50% is the rest. And I have an experience that the brands usually copy the same pattern, right? So they have 50% is Amazon and then 50% is the rest. It's like somehow get this math somehow works even for other brands, right? So if we go for numbers, this is the GMV in Europe. What is this seeing is this is estimations for 2023. So maybe you're watching it next year, so it's old numbers, but the ratio is going to be pretty much the same. And this is not the revenue of the companies; it's sales that customers are generating on the platform, right? And it's only in Europe. So Amazon is generating like let's say 80 billion euros per year, and the closest one is eBay. If you have a feeling that eBay is like somehow getting close to Amazon, is actually not. It's actually the opposite. They were toe to toe back in the days, but right now there's a huge difference between those two. Um, Probably it's a bit outdated because, as you can see, Temu is probably way higher right now. But I don't know any European brands wants to go on Temu, so it's totally irrelevant. So Amazon is the biggest one, and there are two reasons for it. They sell everything, and they sell it in more countries. Because if you look at the other platforms like Allegro, Zalando, Autoball, or even Emag, they are number one in specific country. Emag is in Romania. Yes, they are in other countries, but they're super small there. Allegro is in Poland, in other countries too, but small there, right? Auto is in Germany. So they're like generalists. They sell a lot of different categories, but they sell it to limited number of customers, just to one country or either maybe two countries. Or then the reason, the example number two, they're category specific. Here, Zalando is the best one, right? So Zalando is in many countries in whole Europe. However, they just serve customers with fashion and a little bit of beauty and a little bit of something else, but they're just for the one category, right? And this is what Amazon actually can deliver the best. They've been able to capture the markets pretty early. The timing was great. Back like 20 years ago, they conquered the Western European markets. Since that, they sell pretty much everything to pretty much everyone, and that's their advantage. And if you also see the growth, Amazon has the growth as the platform was start almost as the platform was starting, like 20-30% per year sometimes on the GMV on in number of transactions that the customers are actually fulfilling on those placing on those markets, right? So the question is, should we prefer Amazon as the biggest and most difficult one, or should we go for the easiest? And it's not a clear answer for it, but here's what I show. This is my personal breakdown of the platforms versus how difficult they are, and the revenue they can generate. And Amazon is the clear, like most difficult, most revenue. You'll probably need someone special for it, like in-house freelancer, an agency. You need someone special for it, some specialist full time just for it, or most of the time works on Amazon, because the number of tools, number of competition, the number of specific things that Amazon wants from you is actually, it's not like 10x, it's like 100x from other platforms, right? Also is the most difficult one. So if you conquer Amazon, if you know how to do Amazon, all the other platforms, piece of cake, easy for you, right? So I would rather go for Amazon as the biggest one than to other platforms, right? And if you go for other platforms, my personal best was back in the years Kaufland, because it was like the easiest one and it delivers some results, very limited results, but it delivers something. And by the way, Emag from Romania was a nightmare in this manner. Was poor value for money. When you invest a lot of time, you didn't get much over orders, right? And I don't have like experience with every other platform, but this is my personal best. So I would actually focus on Amazon as a first, and then I will go for someone else. for something else. Because on all other platforms, you can a little bit try spray and pray. You can try to list it and try to sell it and switch on some general campaigns, and it can work and it can show some results on products you weren't like expecting. But on Amazon, you need to clear focus, pick the products, have the strategy, as I talk about it pretty often, right? So I hope it helps you to decide where to go if you're established e-commerce brand and your product is actually wanted on the platforms. I would personally go for Amazon as first, and then if it makes sense, go for other platforms. Not vice versa. But hope it helps you. See you next time. Ciao.